Hello there. In this video, I'll be walking you through how to create a Django project. So before you create a Django project, make sure you are in your project directory and your virtual environment is activated. There are two ways you can create a Django project. The first is using this command here, Django-admin space start project. Start project is the command that creates the project. And you do a space and then you give the project a name. In this example, I've called the project My Site. The other way you can create a Django project is exactly the same way, but you can add a period at the end. Now I'll tell you the difference between using the period and without using the period at the end. When you create a new Django project using the start project command without the period at the end, what happens, it creates an outer folder, which is a container folder, and then it also creates another folder with the same name, and it has all these files inside that folder. So you can see in this illustration, I've got my site, which is the container folder, and then I've got another folder called my site, which contains all these files that are required for the project. Now Django does not care about this outer project. This one called my site doesn't really care about it, so you can rename it if you wish to do so. However, if you create a new Django project and you use the period at the end, it will not create this outer folder. It will just create the main project folder with all these files, and then you have this manage.py and then the other files inside the main project folder. So that's the key difference between using the period and not using the period. Also, when you are creating a new Django project, you have to be very careful when naming the project. Try as much as possible not to name it after any of the built-in Python or Django components, because it will cause a conflict. For example, you don't want to name your project something Django or test. If you name your project test, it can cause a conflict because it has some built-in Python packages that has the same name. So be very careful when you are naming your projects. So, and the dot, I've already explained. When you use the dot, when you're creating the new project with this command, it tells the script, the Django script, to install the project in your current directory. By doing that, it does not create an extra container folder that wraps the main project folder. All right. If for any reason you forget to use the period, it doesn't really matter. You just get an extra folder with the same name as the main project folder. You can just rename it. Okay. So I have got my command prompt open and I'm going to create a new Django project. So I type in the command Django-admin. You do a space and then you type in start project, one word, no spaces. You do a space and then you give the project a name. In my case, I'm going to call my project My List, and I do a space and I add the period. The period will prevent the creation of an extra outer directory. So I press enter and you don't see anything happen here. It has created the project. So what you need to do is open up your text editor and then you can navigate to your project directory. That way you would see the new project in Django that was created. So let me open up my project directory, which is this one here. So if I open it up, You can see here, this is my virtual environment. This is the project that Django has just created called my list. And this is another file, Python file called manage.py. So if I hadn't used the period, I would have had two folders called my list. And one would have been just an empty container that encloses the main project file. So I've opened up my project directory inside my text editor. I am using a text editor called Visual Studio Code. So if you're using any other text editor apart from Visual Studio Code, you can still achieve the same result. So this is my virtual environment. This is the project that Django created. If I expand that, you can see all the files within that project. And this file here is called manage.py. This is a very important file. This is the file that you use to run various commands for your project. In this video, I walked you through the creation of a new Django project. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.